All right, we are back with a brand new episode of First Team All Purpose. We have a lot to talk about today. We are through week 2 of the NFL officially. By the time this episode drops, we'll have talked about some of the hottest things going on in the league through the first 2 weeks. But we got to get it popping, fellas. Deuce, Gene, we got to get it popping early. I need to know what y'all thinking, for good or bad, for better or worse. Who has been the biggest surprise in the NFL so far? Whether it's a team, player, coach, what has really thrown you off from the first 2 weeks of football?
Well, let me start off with the 0-2 Ravens. How
Okay.
they just, they blew it. They blew it last week against the Raiders. We can't lie, the Raiders did play hard. Offense is real stagnated. So that's a big surprise. And then the coach saying he's not going to give Derrick Henry the ball 30 times. Like that's like very mind blowing to me. Like that's what you bring him in for. He's a running back. You run him.
So I have a
Yo,
follow up for you. Go ahead, Gene. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say. I mean, he's a running back who's 10 years plus in the league, who's 30 something. So you really want to give him 30 carries?
He's gonna break it. If you give him 30 carries, the defense ain't gonna hold. The defense got to respect it, and I feel like it would just make like if you look at Lamar in the offense, he just makes it. It just seems like it's hard. It's like struggling. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's not smooth. Like it's like we never seen like a good play. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like
That's a
always just
great
scrambling.
observation.
You know what I mean? Always scrambling around, making a play instead of just having a great play.
That's a great observation because I say this all the time. It looks like they work for every yard. Like every
Yeah,
first down seems like it's too hard when I'm seeing
yeah.
teams drop back and make a play. But to follow up with your with for you, Deuce, in regards to the coach, is like I'm starting to get this vibe on social media. Are you guys getting like almost like tired of Harbaugh? I know Gene has kind of sung that song a little bit. Is it like now it's like, bro, we haven't won since 2013. We've lost. We've underachieved a bunch of years. Are you guys getting tired of him, or is it just like that's family? Like he's gonna be what
Nah,
he's gonna
yeah,
be?
he's locked. He's locked in. He's locked in. He's
Okay.
locked in. He's locked in. It's just that we just
Yo,
gotta respond. Just gotta perform. That's what it
if
is. Just gotta
Patriots
perform.
fans got tired of Bill Belichick after 6 Super Bowls, your man is on the chopping block. If he ain't safe, nobody's safe. That's why in that
Because
article I wrote that like,
he was
yo,
on your
is it
top
on?
five, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Tomlin. Okay, cool. You have winning seasons every single year, but like at some point, if you're one of the finalists that's making it to the playoffs consistently, we got to see you in the Super Bowl and we got to see you win a championship. That window is closing. So it might be time for a new face. Because like, go back to the point that you just made. Look at why is the offense struggling? I got a new offensive coordinator last season, right? And every time I watch the Ravens play, you guys are better when you're playing fast. Like, look at that last drive against KC. You had them scrambling. They didn't know who to cover. But when you're watching the games now, it's just like they're hiking the ball with like 2 seconds left. It's slow pace. He's looking at the wristband. Like, play more up tempo. Use your wide receiver skills. Use the tight ends, and then just get the offensive flowing. They're not doing that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah. Yo, nothing
Offense
drives
is
me.
just
Go ahead, Deuce. Go ahead. You can go.
listen, yeah, just the offense is just not clicking. Plus, yeah, the defensive backs can't guard them. We can't have Gardner Minshew looking like you know, like the prime Aaron Rodgers out there, 30 for
Yeah.
38. You know, you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can't be
Yeah.
losing Gardner Minshew at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I think you said something, and Gene kind of pushed back. I think Henry, like the traditional handed off to Derrick Henry, that's not going to work anymore at this age. But I watched that game last week, and when Henry did kind of like you said, kind of break through a little bit and like had some more leeway, is how they were using him. Instead of just drop back, handoff, whatever, they were putting him in motion, quick, out routes, get him in because Derrick Henry in space is still a scary thing for anybody in the league. But just
He's
Yeah.
not
handing it
one of the
off and
top
asking
running
him,
backs.
right, asking him to just run between tackles. He's too big and he's not as fast anymore to hit those gaps with the same speed he did. But you get him in some space with some linebackers and safeties, it's still hard to tackle that man. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's about how he gets those 20, 25 touches as opposed to just he can't get those touches, which is what it sounds like Harbaugh is saying. We're not giving Derrick Henry the ball 20, 30 times a game because we don't think he's that player anymore. But we'll see if they adjust, because that offense looks really bad, and they're going to a Dallas team in Dallas who is pissed off after getting smacked by the Saints. So that's going to be a test. Y'all can't go down 0-3. Y'all cannot go down 0-3.
Man, shit will be shaking up once you go 0-3.
Yo, I mean, I read somewhere where like the likelihood of you making a playoffs after 0-2 start is like 17%.
It's already slim, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't go down, and
it's a
Dallas
tough
has got their
schedule after
asses
that. We
kicked.
got Dallas,
You know?
then got Bills, then the Bengals. That's you get what I'm saying?
Well, they're playing the NFC East. So I mean, they got the Giants,
But that's
Commanders,
later.
and
That first
Eagles.
half of the
Yeah,
schedule is heavy.
yeah.
Y'all might draft Travis Hunter if y'all keep this up. Y'all might be taking one of the primes boys from Colorado, because this is crazy. Gee, who's your biggest surprise so far, bro?
Well, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a player or a team. It's just more so of a trend.
Okay.
It's like the QB play in the NFL right now. Remember, I had that article.
You won't leave that
about,
alone.
like, no, but okay. So I just seen something where it says that you know how many total touchdowns quarterbacks do in week 2?
It's like
31.
85 for the first 2 weeks. No, I
for
saw
the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right, and that's like, what is that approaching, like historic lows or something close to that effect,
Mhm.
right? And if you're sitting back and looking at the landscape of the QB play, there's not too many good QBs like that's really putting up numbers. Like think about your fantasy team. Like our QBs are non-existent, right? Like, who can we pencil in as a QB that's going to give us 3 touchdowns every Sunday?
At least not yet. Not from what it's bad right now.
It's bad right now. Specifically, Geno Smith is probably the best quarterback in terms of just pure stats. You know, in terms of yardage and
Jalen Hurts, because he runs so much right now, is the top dog. He just, like, the whole sneak, the tush push is gonna get, like, he's creating touchdowns and points for fantasy, for cash. But outside of that, like Lamar had a great week 1, and last week was kind of slow.
You
like
know,
Mahomes, same thing. So
2 interceptions, you know, so I want to see if that trend continues the next month or month and a half, because right now the first 2 games we're not seeing the offensive output that we're used to seeing so far.
Okay.
I feel like, hold on that. I just feel like every offense, it's like with like say basketball, everybody wants to shoot the 3 now, but everybody can't shoot a 3.
Right.
It's like everybody want to follow in like Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, and throw the ball 40, 50 times, and your quarterback is not capable of doing that.
You're built like that,
And your offense, like, it's all right to go back to run heavy, play action, bootlegs. You see this, like, a lot of just shotgun instead of just, your traditional formations has just been like, the traditional playbook has just been just doesn't exist anymore. So that's why I say, like, every quarterback is not the same. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they look at it like, all right, we just got to run shotgun, throw the ball 30 times. But each quarterback can't do that.
Right.
So that's why I feel like this is why the quarterback play is so down right now, because of the trends that the coordinators are trying to take.
But out of the 32 teams, there's 32 teams in the NFL, right? Can you say that there's 10 pretty good running backs in the league right now?
Running back?
Yeah, running back.
10, yeah.
Right, or at least 15. Let's go at least half, right? So I feel like there's like 5 or 6 really good ones, and then everyone else is kind of bunched in. So going back to your point, yeah, you might want to run the ball, but like, who are the studs in the backfield that's running the ball for you?
Again, I think that goes back to the Derrick Henry point. I think running the ball now it's not going to look like under center, you drop back, and you hand the ball off. It won't look like that anymore. But I do think there's still ways that you can run the rock, or like get your running back. I don't even think it's called running the rock. I think it's called touches. It should be touches, because a lot of times, like I watched a big thing that the Chiefs do with Pacheco is sometimes they'll split him out wide. Pat will put him in motion. While he's in motion, he'll get the handoff, and that counts as a touch, right? And it's technically a run, but it's not the traditional way of running backs running the rock, like sweep left, sweep right, or halfback draw.
Motion, yes.
Right. I think it's because, again, everyone's beefing up the middle of their interior defensive line now. So it's hard to run north and south. Like even Saquon doesn't really run like that. They like to get
Yeah,
Saquon out in space, and
Yeah, the
Saquon
little
is
zone
strong.
runs, little
yeah,
zone
Zone
read.
runs, right? Schemes and like RPOs. So it's like I think it's all about keeping your RB involved more so than hey, we got to run the ball 25 times a game, even if it does. Because like you said, Gene, that doesn't work anymore.
yeah.
Running backs ain't running the rock for 25 times up the gut, up like it doesn't work anymore because these guys are getting faster, they're getting stronger. And offensive linemen, if you notice, they're not as big as they used to be. They're more athletic, so they can pull and get out in
Yeah.
space, especially with all the screens and all the passing they do. So um, that style of football entirely is just not really there. I think it's all about being creative and getting your running back touches so he could still be involved in the flow of the game.
That's facts. Yeah.
So you said running backs. I'm looking at the teams right now, and I'm gonna tell you how many good running backs are there. That is a good question. Or you said very good.
Yeah.
The Bills. The Bills have a
No,
good running back. I
Cook.
would say
Okay,
Cook is good. The Dolphins, A Chain. I feel like he is a one trick pony.
decent.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, decent.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him. He's a very fast guy. I wouldn't call. I don't even like look at him as like a running back. He's really just
Hmm.
like a weapon. The Patriots have a good running back. Ramondre's good. The Jets have a very good running back. I think
Hmm.
Bryce is a complete back. He can catch out the backfield. He can run the ball up north and south. The Ravens, Derrick Henry is no longer that player. The Bengals don't have one. The
Hmm.
Browns have Nick Chubb, but he's hurt. He's probably
Yeah.
Hmm.
one of the remaining, traditional bruising backs.
Workhorses.
And what's his
Yeah.
name? Josh Jacobs too. Josh Jacobs is a good running back.
Josh Jacobs
Like
is a
Josh
good running back.
Jacobs.
The
I like him.
Steelers don't really have one. Those guys are okay. They're not good or very good, I should say. The Texans, the Joe Mixon, he's solid. I would call him
Would
Solid.
solid.
you
Yeah.
think that hold up, would you think that some of these running backs will be better with better quarterback play?
I think of course, absolutely, because
You get what
in
I'm
that
saying? So you think that Nigel
but that
Harris, I think he would be a better running back if he had someone that you had to respect the throwing ability for.
so
You can't
that was where I was
pack
going
the
to
box
go.
with 8, 7 people in the box all day.
But that's the correlation that I was about to be very specific about. It's not so much the quarterback play, but the quarterback's weapons. If the quarterback doesn't have weapons, I'm stacking the box. I don't care how good you can throw. If you ain't got nobody to throw to on the outside, who am I respecting? Like, who am I respecting? So, like Lamar is very capable, but he lacks the number one receivers on the outside to make you
Yes.
not stack the box. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Dude,
Lamar, you
and
still got
this
to
is
beat me with your arm, but
and
I don't
this
trust
is
these
like
guys outside.
an ongoing situation for like 4 or 5 seasons. Draft or trade him a number one wide receiver. Zay Flowers is good. He's not a number one. Hollywood Brown
No,
wasn't a number one. It's like the
no.
Ravens are so stuck in their ways, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting one of those traditional guys, and but those guys are hard to get. Gene, you got to be picking
Bro,
top five now to get one of those dogs on the outside, like
dude,
Jamar Jefferson. Jefferson got lucky. The
AJ
Vikings got
Brown.
lucky. AJ Brown won the first round. He went before DK. AJ was like a top
No,
12, 13 pick.
yeah, but I'm saying like you said, they have to be picking third or fourth. But I'm just showing you guys like
Yeah,
AJ Brown and them other dudes. They were like mid to late in the first round. Ravens
right.
could have
But
got someone.
AJ wasn't supposed to be this good. Like
Yeah,
AJ was
he's
not
saying them
supposed to.
playmakers are coming off the board early.
They're coming off the board early. Those guys, like especially now where everyone's trying to get that number one receiver, they see anybody that even resembles any of those guys, they're trying to like get them off the board. A la Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors. I mean, the Bears traded into the top 10 to take Roma Dunze because they feel like he's one of those guys and they want to have him and Caleb for the next 10, 15 years together. So it's hard, but again, if you like you say, if you if you have the scouts, you can always find the diamond in the rough. Like DK
Mm-hmm.
went second round, and DK's a
Yeah.
dog, so it's all about fit and an opportunity. Um, Bryce Young got benched. Bryce Young, the number one overall
Mm.
pick in last year's draft, picked over C.J. Stroud and all those guys by the Carolina Panthers. He's gotten benched for Andy Dalton, the red missile. Is that what they still call him? Who has been in the league for a while? He's
Mm.
been in the league for a while. Played with the Bengals some years back. Had some success, and now he's a backup. But Bryce has been benched, and it just seems like like the Bryce has had the worst maybe 1 year in a couple games of any rookie quarterback or young quarterback we've ever seen. Do you guys think Bryce was done wrong? And like, what's next for Bryce? How does Bryce bounce back from here?
Yeah, I'm gonna say he was done wrong, very wrong. Like, even though the quarterbacks get drafted top 5, number 1, that doesn't give him all right starter just thrown right into the fire. Andy Dalton should have been starting from day one. Just show this young kid the NFL. Just show
Don't
it to him.
don't start, man. Don't
That's
start,
all.
man.
That's all
Because
Andy Dalton, because you can't act like Andy Dalton did not win a few games in his NFL career. He was a
Right.
solid quarterback. He could show him how the NFL works, how to read a defense, how to be an NFL quarterback, and then put him in. Don't just put him in to a team where you don't even know is right. Get him out there just running around getting sacked. You build now his confidence done drop for a team that didn't have nothing going on anyways. Like, you know what I'm saying? Didn't have nothing going on anyways. Like,
And I'm glad you got there.
learn how to set the quarterback up in NFL the right way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody don't need to just be boom, first round, automatic starter. Da 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 da. Nah, it don't work. Like, everybody's not built like that. Every team ain't built like that.
This is a very context heavy conversation, and Gene is waiting to tear into this conversation.
Nah.
He had this article about rookie quarterbacks should sit. I don't care if they pick first or Mr. Irrelevant. I think again, like in Bryce Young, he was done wrong. That's the worst. Carolina Panthers are the worst franchise in sports right now. They don't know what they're doing. They've hired 2 coaches and fired 2 coaches within the span of like 18 months. They bring in some new guy who's supposed to be an offensive coach, right? This guy's supposed to be a quarterback, coach that can, help mold Bryce Young. And 2 games into the season, behind arguably the worst offensive line that I've seen so far through 2 weeks. Also, I found out something today that I didn't know. Did you know Bryce Young didn't play in the preseason?
No, nobody plays.
Nobody plays in the preseason
But
anymore.
Mahomes played in the preseason. Like, Josh Allen played in the preseason. Why is Bryce Young above playing in the preseason when he's got a brand new coach, brand new offensive coordinator, brand new receivers, because they got rid of those other guys. Only Thielen was there last year. They brought in Deontay. Right. They brought in Deontay Johnson, and he gets no reps. Like, he played, I think, literally 1 drive on the last game, and they said, oh, great, we got it all figured out. So it's not about, for me, Bryce automatically needed to sit. And I feel like there's quarterbacks, it makes sense for them to sit. And I did say that if there's a right person in front of them, if there's a quarterback that is capable in front of them, sure. I'm talking about if you're just going to throw anybody out there just for the sake of it. But again, the Panthers they drafted a quarterback and then they traded their best receiver, one of the best receivers in the NFL. And what's his DJ Moore
Yeah.
in the process. Who is Bryce Young coming into that? Who is this? Like, everybody has one person that they can go to. Even if the game's bad, I can go to this person. He's going to get me a catch. Daniel Jones, as we talked about with Malik Neighbors, he knows I can go to Malik and I can get a catch there. I can get 10 catches out of Malik here. DJ Moore literally came in with no receivers, no offensive line, no coach that really knows what they're doing. And now this kid's time in Carolina is done. Like, it's insane. Gene, I'm going to let you jump in here.
When did you put him back in now?
You can't.
And that's what I'm saying. But going back to your point, you just said if you have someone in front of him that's capable, Andy Dalton is capable. He ain't gonna win you games, but he knows how to play the position. Let Andy rock out for a little bit. Here's a question that no one's asking, and I want to ask you two this question: do you think Bryce Young has the physicality and the makeup physically to play in the NFL?
I mean, I said this in our fantasy chat. I was like, Bryce Young might be the smallest player I've ever. Like, he doesn't look like a real person on the field, bro. I be thinking, like, because people are good with Photoshop and all. When I see his highlights on Twitter, I be thinking people are trolling and like they make him smaller. He looks tiny behind his offensive line, bro.
Okay,
but I don't want to use that as a marker to like say Bryce Young can't play in the NFL. I don't want to do that.
He played. He already played the season.
Yeah,
He can do it. You know what I mean? He just
but
needs
he's physically
Kyler
limited,
Murray,
right?
needs the right people. Yeah,
Kyler's
guiding him.
cocky. There's same. same height.
But that goes back to now that goes to my next point, right? You see Kyler Murray, you see Russell Wilson, you can even say Drew Brees, and you can go back to Doug Flutie. Those four quarterbacks
Mhm.
had tremendous arm strength. Bryce Young doesn't have that, right? So it can't be both issues that's holding you back. You lack the physicality and the makeup to be, a strong quarterback, and then you don't have the arm strength to negate that, right? Drew Brees wasn't the biggest dude. He can throw that ball down the field. Doug Flutie can throw that crap 80 yards down the field. Same thing with Russell Wilson, who probably had the best deep ball. And from every highlight that I'm looking at, Bryce Young, he's missing guys, and he's not really that accurate. But you don't even have the arm strength to kind of like finagle it a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, Panthers dropped the ball. I felt like he shouldn't have started yet. But like you guys said, how do you go back? You can't go back to him.
So did Bryce lose his ability to throw in college? Because Alabama is not. It's not like he played at Colorado. This dude played in the hardest conference in football. Like
I
he
guarantee,
dominated college football.
fellas, they'll call us
I
right
know there's a
now.
difference. I know there's a
And
difference. I'm not
come
saying
on,
it's the same.
come on.
I'm not saying it's the same, but I'm saying like the physical ability doesn't go. Like he was very accurate at
Yeah.
Bama, and he had a rocket at Bama. It was
Yeah,
never an issue.
and wide receivers run wide open in college football, so everything's gonna look good.
Right.
Everything's gonna look good, bro.
So it's about separation. Because guys in
Bro,
NFL can't create separation. Bryce doesn't have
no,
the guys creating separation.
he'll in college
Still,
you can just launch it and have a guy go get it, and
but
you'll
that
count that he'll
I
do
see
it.
Tua does that with Tyreek.
Who?
Tua. Tua be
No,
launching it and Tyreek go get it. So you
but
can create separation. He doesn't
but
have those bursts.
Tua has an
It's
arm
just
though.
that I think
Tua
Bryce
Tua
Young
has
was
a strong
just not
arm,
set up right. That's all that he has he's had the capability of being a good quarterback in the NFL. He just wasn't set up to be a good quarterback in the NFL. When
Right.
you coming from Alabama, like y'all mentioned, you got a lot of weapons around them. Playing in college, so it makes the game a lot easier for him.
Right.
So now you go into the NFL where every team's like that. You get what I'm saying?
The worst
Every
teams
team is
like that.
yeah, like you get what I'm saying? So it's like he wasn't really set up. That organization failed him, if you want to say that. The
I can see a
organization
Baker
failed him.
Mayfield. I can see a Baker Mayfield situation for Bryce. I can see if
Yeah.
Bryce goes and sit. Baker didn't really sit. Baker actually
Just went to a new
he
team.
went to the Panthers. He played. They got rid of him. He went to LA. He literally when he got to LA was the same day the game was going on a Thursday night. He played
yeah,
there, went into the offseason. Tampa took a flyer on him. He balled out, and now Baker looks like one of the best quarterbacks in football, which is crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like and Gino went to New York. It didn't work out. Gino went to the other New York team in the Giants. That didn't work out. Gino went to the Raiders. He made some stops. He went to Seattle, held a clipboard for a couple years for Russ, and then they saw something to the point where they felt like they can trade Russ, and now Gino is out there one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I think
Exactly.
there's still a path for Bryce to be successful. It's not going to happen in Carolina because they don't believe in him, and I'm sure he wants to get a fresh start. I'm positive Bryce is done with this experiment in Carolina. I just think Bryce is going to have to shift his mind from I was the best player in college football. I've been humbled, similar to those guys, Baker, especially being a number one overall pick. Now I got to pivot and go learn. I think Kansas City would be fantastic for Bryce. I think a team like the Dolphins could work with Mike McDaniels, who's a quarterback guy who's came in and changed the outlook of Tua, Tagovailoa. I think, there's some situations out there that Bryce, like Buffalo, maybe go sit there and learn behind Josh Allen. He needs to be somewhere where there's a steady quarterback that's really good. He can't just go somewhere.
I mean, he
It's
gonna
just a
go
quarterback room.
somewhere.
It's a quarterback room. He has to learn
yeah.
from these guys so he can actually soak it all in and some stability. The coaches need to be there. Like McDermott is a stable coach. Same goes for Andy Reid. And then from there, see where he will get another opportunity. It's a matter of will he be ready and will he seize it. But he will everyone gets another opportunity in the
Yes.
NFL. Like the
Yes.
third one, I don't know about the third one, but the second one, you will get a second one. So, what do you see? Do you guys think that sounds like something Bryce is the best for Bryce, or do you guys have an alternative?
No,
I just see
he got to get up out of there. That's it.
Would you take a
like if
flyer on
he
him?
and what?
Would you want your team to take a flyer like Jets, Ravens? Would you mind it's another situation. I think the Jets would be a potential with Rodgers. Would you mind if your team said, "Hey, let me go throw a 4th-round pick to get Bryce Young here"? You got to stay,
Oh
not to
no,
play now, obviously, to sit behind Lamar, to sit behind Rodgers for a couple years, and
nah. I
just to
don't
have
feel
him.
like Bryce Young needed to sit for a couple years. I just feel like, say,
Dude,
like
he's not going to play right now. There's no way he's playing next year. He's not playing football. He's not starting on any team next year, bro.
if he goes to a team like the Broncos, where you got a quarterback battle over there, yeah,
Well, they drafted one. They drafted Bo Nix.
and you could trade and be like, like, would you feel me? Like Bo Nix and John and Bryce Young go at it real fast.
But is that a better situation for Bryce? Like to go over there and just play right away on a bad team? It sounds like it's bad business. Like you're setting him up to fail again. I really feel like
Nah,
Bryce needs to sit for a bit. Like he needs to get his mind. And I'm against sitting. I don't like guys sitting. But for Bryce, where he's literally fallen off the face of the earth from what he was, like something like you can't do the same thing and then expect something to change. You got to do something different. And I
Yeah.
think he needs the knowledge of one of these stable offensive coaches, Andy Reid, Sean McDermott, like those guys. And he needs the experience of just like holding the clipboard. Like, humble yourself. Like, even Russ, when Russ came into the league, Russ was a 3rd-round pick. And Russ was not expected to start. Russ got that starting job literally the week of the season. Pete Carroll just said, "I'm going Russ," over,
yeah,
Matt Flynn, who got a
Yeah.
bunch of money to start, and Russ took off. So I think it's the mentality of knowing like this is not being given to me might light a fire under Bryce Young too. Like I gotta go prove I was the #1 pick over CJ Stroud, my G. I
yeah.
gotta go reprove myself, son. Because
Mhm.
I
that
was literally just gonna say that point is, and also what's making this worse is that CJ is one of them.
CJ's him. Like
Yeah.
he's like
Yep.
that. So that burden is a lot, and I don't know if Bryce played right away is the best. I hope. Listen, I want Bryce. I always like when the guys fall off. I always like them to come back, except Baker. I didn't want Baker to come back because Baker was playing with my boy OBJ, and I ain't like that. But me and Baker are good now.
I just don't think Bryce Young fell off though. That's what I'm thinking. I just feel like he just in the situation he was in didn't work. Just wasn't the right one for him. He just
Yep.
started too early.
But dude, if you
To me
look
he
at
just started too early. That's
if
it.
you look at history, it doesn't bode well when a QB is in his 2nd and 3rd year and he done had 3 head coaches, 3 offensive
Yeah,
coordinators. It does not bode well. Jason Campbell, right? Remember the Redskins drafted him and he went to Buffalo. I think in
Cleveland too. Cleveland
seven
too.
seasons as a starter, he had 7 different head coaches and he had all the physical tools in the world. You
Yeah.
can't put that on a young quarterback, man. So I think I agree
but
with
don't y'all
Sean.
remember when after Patrick Mahomes won his Super Bowl and he's told the media he still don't know how to read
Read
defenses
defenses.
after
Yeah.
his Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That should have clicked in these coaches' mind that these quarterbacks ain't ready. This is Patrick Mahomes. He just won the Super Bowl and
I
telling them
also think
he don't know how
Patrick.
to read. He
I
don't know how
also
to
don't
read
think,
defenses yet.
I don't think he meant it literally. I think he's saying there's still a whole different beast of reading defenses, right? I don't think he meant like I don't know how to make my reads. He was saying this is a whole new game. Like I still got to learn how to like adjust. Like I think he meant adjusting to when Bill
That,
Belichick
but
changes the game plan. In the second half, how do you adjust to that? How do you make the proper adjustments on the fly? I don't think Patrick was saying I don't know how to make my first read, my second, like the
I just
progression.
I just felt like during that time he was going based off his talent.
Talent, yeah. A lot of these guys.
Yeah.
I feel like Lamar did that his first 4 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
Lamar was
Yeah.
just
Yep.
being a talent.
Now the talent is not everybody's catching up to your talent.
Right, right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
So now it's like you gotta adjust. So like that's what I'm saying with Bryce Young. He just gotta he just gotta, like y'all said, sit behind somebody, see the game, see the NFLs, and just go from there.
right, right. I hope Bryce bounced back because Bryce looks like a real good kid. Like they broke that man. That man, they asked him how he feeling. That man said, "My trust is in the Lord." After
Week 2.
they broke my boy. My boy is literally already on the Lord's time, bro. Like, come on,
Yeah.
yo, Panthers, you're gonna pay for that. You're gonna pay for your sins, Panthers. Deuce, who you got from this week that was going crazy that caught your attention?
It's not just one person. I'm gonna go with a team this week.
Okay.
Even though it's what's it called? Only 2 weeks. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I gotta go with the Bucks. Baker Mayfield in that offense. Chris Goodwin. They put up numbers. They doing their thing over there. So
Yeah.
that's one team I see cooking up. That's one team and one offensive group I see cooking up. Baker
Yo,
Mayfield in the Bucks.
real talk. They are humming right now. They
Even
went
even
into
though it's week
Detroit.
two, they clicking. They clicking right now.
They
They
went
click.
into Detroit and took their hearts, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
that. I think again. Remember last year they made the playoffs and won a playoff game. So
Yeah,
this is not just like coming out
that
of
was
nowhere.
in yesterday, and I mean that Sunday game was a playoff, the rematch, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
at Detroit, same
Mm-hmm.
same exact atmosphere, same exact team, and Baker said he had a fire under him to come back and win, do better in this playoffs because he threw the game-ending pick, last year in Detroit.
Yep.
So, Bucks, I definitely got my eyes on the Bucks. I want to see if this is like just a thing or if this is going to be a real thing where they're going to take this next step into being one of the elite teams in the league. All right, we're gonna go through some contenders and pretenders. We have some 2-0 teams. The Chargers are 2-0. Who would have thought, right? And the Steelers are 2-0. Justin Fields' Steelers are 2-0. Which of these two teams that started 2-0 do you guys think has a more realistic chance to actually be contenders?
It's a
I'm gonna go.
quarterback
I'm gonna.
league, right? So I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Like Justin
Oh,
Herbert. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. Come on, over the Steelers. Dude, the Steelers win ugly. You can't win ugly every single week. And like against the Falcons and then last week, like you can't win ugly every single week. John Harbaugh, he revitalized J.K. Dobbins' career. Like your man is averaging
Jim.
135. Yeah, Jim,
Jim
he's
Harbaugh.
averaging what 135 yards per game off what
Mm-hmm.
two season-ended injuries, 2 consecutive seasons. And Herbert, he's just playing regular. He only has one touchdown, but he's not turning the ball over, and that's what we want to see from him. So the Steelers just offensively, every game is ugly. They don't have a run game, and it's just like they're squeaking out. So I can't say that they're a contender. Out of those two teams, I gotta go with the Chargers.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with the ugly team, even though that's a rivalry. I just gotta. I can't lie. Like, the Steelers defense gonna make you travel, man. They don't give up a lot of points.
Thank you.
You
Okay,
gotta defense gonna make it ugly. So you know what I mean.
but you have to put points on the board though.
And they
You
have.
gotta put
They've done enough.
Hey,
The Chargers ain't lighting
yeah.
it up either. The Chargers, like, they're not, like, blowing teams out. I think they blew the last team out. I don't know who they played. Who they played on Sunday? They didn't, like,
Chargers.
they're not dragging people. They're not putting up 30 points on the board. But the Steelers, that defense is that defense. Like, it was good last year. It was good the year before. It's going to be good again. It's going to be able
Yeah.
to carry them. And again, we got to remember, Justin Fields is still literally brand new he's still like literally looking over his shoulder, not sure. It's week to week still. So
Mm-hmm.
like the Chargers have their quarterback and he's not turning the ball over and they're winning games. But we know their defense is not like that. And we know who are their weapons. Like what
But
happens
I
when a
like
team.
Justin Herbert as a quarterback, though. People hate
Yeah,
on Justin Herbert.
bro.
Justin Herbert,
Yeah,
he's a good
yeah we
quarterback.
we, we, we yeah we gotta start keeping it a stack here, man. Yo, we get on Justin Herbert because he doesn't perform well in the playoffs. Yeah, that's fine. Like I get it, but like, come on, like, he's a decent quarterback with the
Nah, he's
potential to
more.
be a great
He's up there.
quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
he's a
come
good
on,
quarterback.
you're
Who
not
said
gonna
he
But
was
say
bad?
this.
Who said Justin Herbert was bad?
No, but I'm
a
just
lot of
saying,
people
like
think he's not a good
he's
quarterback.
more. They're more steady at the quarterback position than the Steelers. Like they
Right,
won
but the
last,
Steelers are more steady everywhere else, which is what I'm like.
but you
You
have
don't you can't tell me the Steelers are not going to be a better team than the Chargers. The Chargers are supposed to be bad this year. This is a
yeah.
surprise. So this is
No,
a surprise. Why are you running
dude.
with this contending thing?
Whoa, 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 whoa. When everyone was picking their divisions on this podcast and even on ESPN, no one had the Steelers winning this division. We said it was the Ravens and the Bengals. Steelers was they gonna make the playoffs. I had Mike Tomlin getting fired. So don't
But
circle the block.
did
Yeah,
you hear the teams you just listed? That's why
yeah,
if the Steelers were in the AFC West and you took out the Chiefs, they'd win that division running away. Like
dude.
they're in the hardest division in sports.
Yeah, and they started off. They had two ugly games and they're 2-0, but I don't think that's gonna continue. I think when those other two teams get their quarterback right and their team right and their situation right, they're gonna start winning games.
I'm
It's as
making a
simple
note
as
because
that
I
to
want to
me.
run this back. I want to run
Yeah,
this
we're gonna
back
run
in
it
3
back.
weeks. We're gonna check on the Chargers record in 3 weeks to see what you talk. We're gonna see.
They actually play the
Back
Chargers. They play the Steelers this weekend.
this week. This week,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guarantee you Pittsburgh win. I guarantee you Pittsburgh wins, and Justin Fields is gonna out. Justin Fields will be the best Justin on the field on Sunday.
Okay.
Justin Fields will be the best Justin on the field on Sunday. Justin
Who
Fields,
would,
brothers and sisters, will be the best Justin on Sunday. I guarantee you that.
but who would y'all take out of the Chargers and the Saints?
Saints. The Chargers
Saints,
are
yeah.
not supposed to be good this year. This is the thing. Like, they're supposed to be tanking this year. Or because they got rid of Keenan Allen, they got rid of Austin Eckler. They're supposed to be a bad team this year.
And the Steelers are supposed to be bad. You keep saying that
How?
about the Chargers. The Steelers.
The Steelers are not supposed to be bad. How are they supposed to be bad? They upgraded that quarterback.
Oh, you said that
How
they
they
wasn't gonna
supposed
make the playoffs. No one had to go to the playoffs.
That's my Yo, Duece, run the tape, yo. I didn't have the Steelers as my surprise division winning for the AFC North, and I said Russell Wilson was going to play well this year.
You said Russell
Have it.
Wilson.
It's on wax, Gene.
You said which player was gonna have a breakout year that's gonna surprise you? Russell Wilson. You didn't say nothing about the Steelers.
Let's bet 100 beans. Please, before you change your mind.
Tom is hard right now.
I don't got it either. I'm trying to make 100, but I know what I know. Like, I remember I said the Steelers are going to be my surprise team that we're going to surprise everybody and win the division because all the other teams are going to be clashing heads. And I really want it to happen because I like Russell Wilson, I like Justin Fields, and I want the team to have success. But we'll see. The 0-2 Ravens, unbelievable, and the 0-2 Bengals, who lost a nail biter, a crutcher to the Chiefs on Sunday. Who's in more trouble, yo? I think it's the Ravens.
Yeah,
I think
I'm just gonna go with the Ravens because they're just gonna go with the Ravens because they're not coming from the AFC Championship game. They're not supposed to start off on an 0-2. Not supposed to start off 0-2 and going into the going to Dallas. That's a tough game. Dallas coming up, like you said, coming off a tough loss in Dallas. 4:00 game. You know how they get on Fox TV.
America's game.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I'm gonna go with the Ravens starting off real slow right now. And then, the Bengals always start off like that for some reason. They always start off like that. The Bengals always start off slow.
Facts. And the Bengals actually played well. They just, they had a couple bad breaks here and there, and they lost the best team, best quarterback, best player in the world. But I thought the Bengals played a really good game. Like, they just didn't make enough plays, and then obviously some crucial penalties here or there. With the Jamar Chase penalty, I thought that was huge. Like, that whole tantrum that got them 15-yard penalty, and then obviously the pass interference at the end. And I also saw some tape where there were some guys being held on the Bengals that the ref didn't call the flag for on that same play. So, Bengals, they're showing you that they can compete with anybody, especially the Chiefs. They play the Chiefs like this all the time. So
that was my next point. Like, I can't say that the Bengals, they might turn it around because the Ravens, for whatever reason, can never beat the Chiefs. They don't compete well with the Chiefs. But the Bengals, on the other hand, they have the Chiefs' numbers, and like that's one of the teams that, for whatever reason, they match up well, right? But I'm looking at Jamar Chase, and I got him on my fantasy team. He looked like he don't even want to be there. If we're gonna keep it real,
he don't. His attitude is terrible.
They lost Joe Mixon. T. Higgins is hurt with some like hamstring injury. So, and I'm also looking at their schedule. Like, I mean, they have a pretty tough schedule. Week 1, they lost against the Patriots. The only resolve I have with the Ravens that they're 0-2. They could have easily won that Chiefs game. Few plays here and there, they could have won. They could have won last week's game. They should have won last week, right? So if they would have lost those 2 games and they were getting blown out by 20, 25, 30 points, I would have been like, okay, Ravens, you guys are in trouble. You feel me? But they lost 2 back-to-back nail biters. Right? Yes. So I'm really anxious to see how they come out. And another thing with the Ravens, like, since Lamar's been the quarterback, he wins 74% of their games. Like,
highest in the league.
Bro, he's beaten every great team. He owns the 49ers. He's beaten the Cowboys. He beats the Bengals all the time. They only have issues with the Chiefs. So
Mm-hmm.
this game, I want to see how they bounce back. But still, I think that they'll find a way to make it out. Bengals, I'm not sold on. I'm not sold on their defense. Their star players are unhappy there. No run game. And Joe Burrow's going to get hurt at some point in the season.
Bag. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Wow. Wow.
Jamar, well, while you're displeased with Jamar, you want to trade Jamar? I got a player for you if you want to trade Jamar Chase. It's
You got
fantasy.
Dalton Schultz.
I don't have Schultz. Janelle
Hold on.
does.
I'm
Janelle
looking at the
does.
schedule right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I'm not a big believer in the Saints. But
I'm not either.
The Saints will
But
make me a
they're
big
gonna. They can
believer.
score enough to beat. They can score enough to beat teams. But I don't think the Saints are gonna
But
sustain this level.
I see they got a game against the Eagles coming up this week.
This Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, and the Eagles is coming off that game that almost put Kirk Cousins with the clipboard. So that's going to be a good game right there. The Eagles and the Saints. That's
Uh-huh.
going to make me be all right. I'm going to keep my eye out on the Saints after that
Mm-hmm.
game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then another team, the Packers and Titans. Titans lose that one. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Bryce Young, bring him over there. Bring him over to Tennessee.
That's. I mean, the
Yeah,
Packers game and the Titans game. That's the game Gene kind of got ahead of last week and said, "You can't lose that game. You can't lose to that." I still have that clip ready, actually, to post because he was like, "You can't lose to Levis after throwing a terrible interception." But yeah, I think the Bengals. I'm not. I'm.
and
It's a hard division they're in, and again, the NFL, like the AFC, is stacked. Like all the good teams are mainly in the AFC. So the Bengals are going to have their number cut out for them, but I don't know if I would say they're in more trouble. I think the Ravens, given the immediacy of this week, they have to go to Dallas and win in Dallas after Dallas had a letdown. And I don't know if the
then we
Ravens
ain't
will put
even
up enough
talking
points.
about the Rams starting off 0-2.
The Rams they lost Aaron Donald, they lost the juice, man, and
Rams
they're
is
without Puka, and now they're without Cup, like for a while.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Their offensive
they got to play
tackle
the
was
40. They got a game against the 49ers. That's a big game for them. That's a
They're
big
gonna
game
they're gonna lose
against
that
the
game.
49ers.
They're
yeah.
gonna lose that game.
So
But, you know,
Yeah, they're gonna 49ers are pissed after losing to Sam Darnold, at their crib. I think that's gonna be a game where the 49ers
it's like
handle business.
how do you go into the locker room 0-3 now? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Travis
That's a big.
Hunter. Start thinking about Travis Hunter.
Start talking about. It's not even that. You start thinking about that. You like, damn, Coach Prime coming with him. I was throwing that to my
I
pop.
won't
I'm
be
like,
surprised, yo.
Coach Prime coming with them boys, man.
I
He ain't
wouldn't be
coaching them in
surprised.
the NFL, man. Like he said,
Yo,
we
I'm
have
gonna do
baggage there.
a quick weekly check. We said which rookie running receiver was going to be wide receiver one. So far, my guy he's running away with the race. Marvin Harrison Jr., who none of y'all said is not.
Yeah,
He had a good game last week, but
he had a good first half.
there you go. And that's why I told you he's not going to do that again next week. I don't think that's going
Well,
to be
it's still like
that kind of relationship with him and Kyler. But Malik Neighbors looks like the real deal. Adunze looks like he need to go back to college for another year. He don't look ready at all for the
I
NFL
wasn't prepared
speed.
for that one.
That was a great Texan secondary, but even week one, like he was a non-factor really for all of that game. And Keon Coleman, he better go buy himself another yellow jacket and tell some jokes because it's not looking good for your boy.
I
I,
haven't
I
seen him
mean,
catch from him yet.
week one wasn't that bad. 5 catches,
We're
50
going
yards.
solid. We're going solid.
Yeah,
We're
like,
going.
you know.
So we'll keep running it back and check tabs. All right,
Mm-hmm.
brothers. Great show as usual.
Yeah, great one, yo.
Football is back this Thursday. The
Yeah,
Patriots and
football's back.
Jets. Who you got? Patriots or Jets? Thursday.
Ooh, Patriots or Jets. Ooh, I'm gonna go with the Patriots. I like Jacoby
That's
Brissett. I can't
crazy.
lie.
This is the
I
Jets
like
home opener, bro. It's their first game at home with Aaron Rodgers since he tore his
and
Achilles. I think the
and I
Jets are
like
going to win.
none. I just like I don't to be honest with you. I never liked the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
They just never But Jacoby Brissett and Gerard Mayo, they playing real tough over there,
Much
yo.
minutes.
I can't lie. And they got the running back, Rashid what's his name, Stevenson?
Ramondre Stevenson, he's killing it on my fantasy team. So I
You
hope he
know,
does well.
you
I
know what
hope
I
he
mean?
does well.
So yeah. I like the way the Patriots is grinding right now.
All
And
right,
they could be 2-0 too. They
to the
just
Seahawks.
lost in Seahawks in overtime.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? So they real solid over there right now.
yeah. Gene, who wins on Thursday? Your Jets or the Patriots?
Jets home opener. Electricity will be through the building. It's
I
gonna be
think
a
so.
close game, but I think the Jets gonna pull it out.
Okay, I think so too. I think the Jets are going to win 32. I think 31-20. I think they're going to put up some points, and I just think the Patriots are not going to have enough offense. I hope Ramondre scores all 3 touchdowns for the Patriots. But fellas, great talking to y'all. We'll talk again next week. Have a great rest of your week, beloved.
All right,
Yeah.
brother.